Welcome, welcome. Go ahead and type in the chat where you're coming in from. All right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming. We have an exciting event today. You are here to liberate your soul. Newcastle, UK. Excellent. We have people from all over the world. Thank you guys for tuning in. Beautiful. I know we've got a Toronto. We have a Virginia coming in. Thank you everybody for being here. So you are here to liberate your soul. You're going to learn today what has been blocking you. If you are experiencing any blocks, and you may not consciously be experiencing any blocks, but we're going to learn a little bit about the unconscious mind and what goes on there. So you're going to experience today a powerful energetic release that will change the way that you experience the world. So first, I want to acknowledge you for being here, for showing up, for committing to yourself, for investing this time in yourself, and by trusting yourself. And just know that by healing yourself, you're healing 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. So you are helping to raise the consciousness on the entire planet by doing your own work and helping to liberate your own soul. So I want you just to think about, why are you here and what do you want to get out of this event? Because the more engaged and invested you are in your own healing, your own success, the more you're going to get out of it. Intentions are very, very powerful. So go ahead and take a moment and think about why you signed up for this workshop and what you want to get out of it. And so I will introduce myself. My name is Tobey. I am a soul expansion coach, and I utilize a lot of different modalities: neurolinguistic programming, which is the study of the unconscious mind, hypnotherapy, breath work, Reiki, Huna, which is a Hawaiian form of energy work and shamanism and spirituality. I utilize my intuition, and most of all, I utilize spirit and guidance from the divine. I am very passionate about helping people heal from the past, from their past wounds, from trauma, from PTSD, from wounds and energies and emotions that no longer serve, and help you to step into who you came here to be in this lifetime. I feel so strongly that everyone can heal from their trauma and your pains from the past. Wherever you are on your path, you can get to the other side. The question is, are you willing to heal? Are you willing to change the way you think? Or are you willing to change your triggers and the way that you experience the world just a little differently? Are you willing to open your mind and open your perception? Are you willing to release beliefs that are no longer serving you, that are creating your current realities? And are you willing to become something greater? And I know that because you're here, whenever you're watching this now or in the future, that you are. So go ahead and take a moment. And if you have a notebook with you, go ahead and think about and write down for yourself, what is happening in your current reality that does not serve you? What is something that's happening in your life right now that you would like to shift, that you would like to release, that you would like to change? So take a moment and think about that. So today we are doing a process called Higher Self therapy. So that means that your higher self is doing the release work on you. And what's possible is that you no longer have to live from the pains of your past. The triggers that you experience won't have power over you anymore. You can gain an immense amount of freedom from this process, and you can open yourself up energetically to miracles, to breakthroughs, to changes in your career, in your business, your relationships, in your feeling of self-worth. Whatever is going on with you, it is possible to change. And this is one of the first steps in that process, is releasing the blocks that we have built up in our systems. So we're here to do release work. So what exactly does that mean? We're going to be releasing baggage, and baggage can be defined as old emotions from the past, limiting beliefs, negative energies that are trapped in our systems. So we tend to go through the world as humans, and we hold on to things. We may have an experience, let's say at work, where, you had a conversation with your boss that was not too pleasant, or with a coworker, and it left you feeling bad. So what do you do with that bad feeling, that negative emotion? Do you release it and shake it off like a dog does when they get scared of something? They shake off that emotion and they release it from their system. But usually as humans, we don't. We stuff it down and we store it somewhere, because we haven't been taught, we haven't been socialized to release our emotions. We tend to just store them up. And what can happen is our nervous systems and our physical bodies can be stored up with all of these emotions, because emotions are energy, and energy is never created or destroyed. It just can transform into something else. So just know that if you're human, you have stored energies and stored emotions from the past. So we will be working with the unconscious mind, also known as the subconscious mind. I use those words interchangeably, and your higher self, as well as intention. I mentioned earlier that intention is very, very powerful. So it's important to have an intention for everything that we do, because it can really guide us and direct our energies. So let's talk a little bit more about baggage. So what is baggage exactly, and how does it keep us from living the lives that we really want? So again, baggage is trauma, and it's old negative emotions that we're still holding on to, and limiting beliefs, those beliefs that we have that keep us smaller than what we actually are, that keep us creating our reality. So limiting beliefs can look like, I'm not enough, I'm too fat, I'm too old, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not as good as that other person, that comparison that many of us do. So when we have these limiting beliefs, that's going on in our unconscious mind. And one of the jobs of the unconscious mind is to make our beliefs our reality, no matter what. So when we have beliefs running in the background that we're not aware of, that can be creating the realities that we experience. And we may not know why we're experiencing so many challenges in our life, but when we start to uncover what's going on in the unconscious mind, it becomes more clear. So we're going to do that today. And I want to talk about core wounds. So these are our biggest limiting beliefs that tend to define who we are, or who we think that we are. And again, this can look like, I'm not good enough, I'm not enough, I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy, I don't exist, I don't deserve love, things like this, that we know consciously, we may know consciously that they're not true. But if those are going on in the background in the unconscious mind, again, the unconscious mind will make them our reality. So when we have a goal, and we set a goal and we want something different in our futures, maybe we want to make a certain amount of money, or get a promotion at work, or find the love of our life, or maybe we want to run a marathon, whatever that goal is. How many of you, just think about this, how many of you have set a goal that you haven't been able to reach, or you started out really strong and then something got in the way and you kind of got deflated, or you lost interest, or you got a little hopeless? Well, that is an example of baggage. So what can happen is, we're walking down the road to our goal, and the goal is at the end of the road. We see it as like a pot of gold with a rainbow. That's our goal. We're walking down the road. It seems easy. And then all of a sudden there's a snowstorm, and this 20 feet of snow and ice is dumped in front of our path. We can't go over it. We can't get around it. We can't melt it. We're kind of stuck here. That's the baggage. So what this process can help us do, when we release that baggage, it's so much easier to reach our goal. Then we can just walk down the road towards that pot of gold without the baggage in the way, because once we become aware of it, that's the first step to change. And then when we can energetically release it and understand and start to speak to our unconscious mind, we can get clear about what's going on there. And then we can shift the beliefs. But we first have to have the awareness of what is actually happening in the unconscious mind, and what those beliefs are that we're holding on to, that are creating our realities. And so we experience reality in our minds. Our thoughts create our realities, right? Just like we were talking about with the beliefs. And so if we have a belief, then the thought is going to follow on top of that belief, and it's going to start to create things in our reality that make it true. So if I have a belief that I'm unlovable, and say I'm going out in the world and I'm dating and I'm on some dating apps, I'm going to be swiping through and see somebody really attractive. And I'm going to look at that person. Oh, he's hot or she's hot. And probably the next thought is going to be, oh, I'm not good enough for that. I'm not hot enough for that person to like me. And then we're going to pass them up. We're going to swipe left on that person because we have a belief going on underneath that I am unlovable. So we're not even going to attract those situations of lovable. We're going to keep creating situations where we're unlovable. Either we are going to block them or we will attract the people in our lives who reflect that back to us. So it's really, really important to release this baggage, because when we release the baggage, we start to see the world differently. Our thoughts begin to change. Our emotions begin to change. We begin to be more hopeful, and we can start to attract to us what we really, truly desire. So when we release that baggage, we then have freedom of choice. We're not operating by that old programming. And just know, you are not locked in by your limiting beliefs. This process is really important for discovering them and releasing them. Just know that you can expand and you can start to see that everything is possible. Everything is possible for each of us humans. Everything. And it's all has to do with what's going on in our minds. So let's talk a little bit more about the unconscious mind. So the unconscious mind holds our deep-seated beliefs, our values, our attitudes, and all of our memories from this life, from past lives, if that is in your belief system, and even ancestral memories. And our unconscious mind can hold on to all of those. So baggage is stored in the unconscious mind. And also all change takes place in the unconscious mind. So when we're setting a goal, we're doing that with the conscious mind. The conscious mind is the goal setter, but the unconscious mind is the goal getter. So we need to get into alignment with the unconscious mind so that we can actually achieve those goals. Again, so it's imperative to release this baggage so you can live the life that you want. So we're responding versus reacting, and we're not living from the unconscious programming. So the unconscious mind is really in charge. The unconscious mind also runs the body. And we can actually create our wellness, our well-being, or our sickness with what's going on in the unconscious mind. Again, so if we have a belief that we are, it is hereditary for, arthritis is hereditary in my family, so I'm bound to get it. Or my mom and my grandma got breast cancer when they were 35, so I'm bound to get it. So if you have a belief, that's passed down from generation to generation, you're more likely to create that in your own life. So the unconscious mind runs the body. And so it has a blueprint of how the body is now in its current state of health. And it also has a blueprint of perfect health. And that lives in the higher self. So wherever you are on your health journey, no matter the level of sickness or health that you're on, it is always possible to get to a state of perfect health. Always. Because the higher self holds that blueprint of perfect health. So when I say the unconscious mind preserves the body, it maintains the integrity of the body. So sometimes, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how the unconscious mind operates, because sometimes it's like, sometimes it's like a child. And the unconscious mind it was programmed from the ages of 0 to 7 is when our beliefs, our thoughts about the world, our beliefs about ourselves were put into place. We're programmed, so to speak. So what happens is, when we're between 0 and 7, our brain is in theta waves. And the theta brain waves are where we're very susceptible. We don't question anything. We just take it as fact. So when you're a child, if you see your parents fighting, the unconscious mind will create meaning out of that. And may mean that, oh, mom and dad are fighting. They don't have time for me. They must not love me. I'm going to interpret that to mean I'm unlovable or I'm not good enough. right? So the unconscious mind, when we're in those formative years, 0 to 7, will make meaning out of things and will hold on to things and make them truth. So when we say that the unconscious mind preserves the body, sometimes it thinks that maintaining the integrity of the body means that holding on to the status quo, how things are right now, is maintaining the body. And again, because the unconscious mind is kind of like that 7-year-old, because that is when everything was programmed up to 7 years old. So we have to think about, maybe the unconscious mind as your 7-year-old kind of running the show. So a little bit later in the process, when we get into the mechanisms of the higher self therapy, just know that I'll be speaking to each of your unconscious minds. And sometimes we need to get the unconscious mind on board and remind the unconscious mind that integrity means wholeness. And maintaining the integrity of the body means continuing to move it towards that blueprint of perfect health that lives in the higher self. So it doesn't always mean keeping the body as status quo as it is exactly now, because we're in the game of change. We're in the game of improving ourselves, of progressing, evolving. So this is about creating rapport with the unconscious mind, with your inner child. Okay. So, all right. So our thoughts become things. Those thoughts are very important. And we have so many thoughts in a day. It's nearly impossible to become aware of all the thoughts that you're thinking. But just know that your thoughts are very powerful magnets, as are your emotions. We are magnetic. I'm sure everybody's heard of the law of attraction. We attract things with our thoughts. So we're thinking over and over and over. I'll tell you a little story about my life. So I had been thinking for probably a year that I wanted to get a new car, but my car was running just fine. I just wanted to drive something nicer and more modern. So it was running in the back of my head. Oh, I want a new car. I would love to have a new car, but no reason to get a new car. My car is paid off and it runs really well and it does everything that I need. Well, I want a new car. I want a new car. I want a new car is running in the background. What happened? I got into a car accident. So I attracted this situation to me so that I could create a new car for myself. And that's one of the ways that our thoughts create our realities, right? And so we can do the same thing with positive thoughts. And I had a very similar thing happen to me on the opposite side where, I'm interested in dating and I'm thinking about my partner and who is the ideal partner that I want to attract. And there's somebody from my past who, I always found attractive, but we were just kind of casual friends. And last week I came out of an appointment and there he was walking down the street and our paths just crossed because again, I'm thinking in the back of my mind about my ideal partner and who I want to attract in. And literally we crossed on the street. We are so powerful and you have to know how powerful you are. So let's take a moment. And again, if you have a journal or notebook next to you, think about what are the predominant thoughts you've been thinking about in your life? Are they more positive or are they more negative? Right? So if we have a bad day and it gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse because we have that negative emotion or that negative thought about what happened in the morning, then, throughout the day, we keep thinking about that thing that happened in the morning that just made us mad. Well, then things are going to continue to compound and maybe get worse and worse and worse. And the same thing can happen with positive thoughts. When you're in a really good mood and you're like, nothing could disturb my good mood. And things are going really well and the sun is shining bright and you're aware of all the beautiful things, the wind blowing on your face. And all of a sudden you find, $10 on the ground, right? Because when we're in the positive space, the positive emotions and positive thoughts, we attract that to us as well. So today, this is about cleaning out the negative junk so that we can create the life that we really, really want to live. So let's talk about the higher self. So our higher self is our totally trustworthy parental spirit. It's our inner higher wisdom. It is our connection with source energy, with the universe. And the higher self respects the free will of the individual. It always wants what you want. So just know that if you want to move to Mexico and live on the beach, your higher self wants that for you. The unconscious mind may not want that because it might have fear that it's holding on to. So we want to get those in alignment. Okay, so in this process that we're going to be doing today, there must be agreement from the conscious mind and the unconscious mind to make the change. The higher self already is on board with the change. It wants that for you. Okay, so in this process today, we're going to be looking at what are the root causes of what's going on with you. What are the root causes of those emotions? What are the root causes of the beliefs? And so you don't have to know that consciously when we do this process. Your higher self already knows what the root cause is. So when we go through this process, you can just rest and relax, knowing that your higher self has your back and wants the best for you. And your higher self is connected to your soul, and your soul wants the best for you. Your soul wants your expansion. It wants your liberation. It wants your freedom. It wants you to be the best version of yourself. Okay. So the higher self is perfection, and the soul is perfection. The higher self does everything right. That's why this is called higher self therapy. So you can trust your higher self. So I want to ask right now in the chat, does anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions about what we've talked about so far, about baggage, about the unconscious mind, the higher self, release work? If you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat. You can type them in at any time. Okay, no questions so far. So we are going to talk about this process, higher self therapy. So I want you to think about, what is your biggest limiting belief? And write it down there in your notebook. Your biggest limiting belief. And again, this could look like I'm not good enough, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, I don't matter, I'm unlovable, I don't deserve love. It could also look like the world is out to get me, things always go bad for me, people are judging me. Yeah. So think about that. Write that down for yourself. We're gonna work on releasing and shifting that a little bit later. So make sure that you've got that for yourself. So in this higher self therapy, we are going to release the trapped energies, emotions, anger, hurt, sadness, fear, guilt, and shame. Okay. So how does this exactly work? Well, the unconscious mind organizes our memories and our experiences by emotions. So say you're in elementary school. You know, you're 8 years old, you're out of the playground, and you have a crush on Tommy. And Tommy comes over to you and kicks you in the knee. Well, we know that little boys tend to do things like that when they have crushes, but as a child, we don't know that. And so as a child, I look at Tommy and I say, oh no, Tommy doesn't like me. And so what emotions do I feel? I feel rejected. I might feel hurt, anger. I might feel loneliness. I might feel embarrassed, which is another form of shame, right? So I'm filing that away in my filing cabinet of hurt, anger, sadness, shame, right? So that experience, that memory goes into that bucket of those emotions. So as we're doing this process and we are releasing these emotions, we may have memories pop up. They may just float through our heads. Or ideally, what's going to happen is after this process, you'll be able to look back on some of those memories and go, oh, they don't hold the emotional charge that they used to. Because I know we all have memories about things, whether it happened last week, last year, 10 years ago, or in our childhood. We can think about things that happened that we still hold on to emotions about, right? So think about an emotion that you have where you're still angry. You can still talk about it right now, even though it happened 10 years ago, but you still have that anger and that heat of the moment as though it just happened to you, right? So why are we still holding on to that emotion? We're still keeping that situation alive, right? So this is about releasing that. So then we can go back to that memory, and it'll almost be like watching a movie of somebody else's life, that it doesn't still hold the same emotional charge. That's what happens when we release the emotions of the past. So let's do a little exercise right now. So close your eyes, as long as you're not driving. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Slowing down your nervous system. And I'm going to teach you how to listen to your unconscious mind. Okay, so I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions. And wherever you are, go ahead and answer out loud with the very first thing that comes to your mind. Okay, give me a color. Give me a shape. Give me a body part. A day of the week. The name of a flower. Good. And was everybody able to quickly come up with an answer to those questions? If you weren't, go ahead and type it in the chat. So that is your unconscious mind. That is how your unconscious mind speaks to you that quickly. That's also how your intuition speaks to you. It's that fast, right? Blue, square, arm, lilac, right? So it comes very quickly. So everybody is able to hear their unconscious mind. And if anybody heard, maybe they thought blue, but they said yellow. Well, the second one that came in, that's your conscious mind. And again, the conscious mind thinks it's in charge. It always wants to run the show. So sometimes it comes in and it steps on the conscious or the unconscious mind, right? So that's perfect if that happened, because now you have an awareness of how the conscious mind works. It comes in and it wants to be the one answering the questions. It wants to be the one that's right. But today we're going to ask that everybody's conscious mind just take a back seat, take a nap. You can rest. We're going to let the unconscious mind take center stage today. Because again, all change takes place in the unconscious mind, right? So allow that conscious mind to take a back seat. And through this process, if you notice the conscious mind, that's okay. Just take a breath and go back to listening within to that very, very first thing that comes, that first answer that you get, okay? And so your unconscious mind must be on board with this process. So I'm going to ask you, for example, is it all right with your unconscious mind for you to release anger today and for you to be aware of it consciously? And you'll get a yes or a no. And if you get a no, you might hear the no, or you might see something. Some people process visually, some people process auditorily or through thoughts. Everybody processes differently. So your no could be a picture. It could be a feeling that you have in your body of resistance. But just trust yourself. Just take a moment in this process and trust yourself. And know that if you get a yes or a no, you will know. Okay? And the unconscious mind has to be on board with this process. So for those of you out there who get a no, that's okay. I'm going to help negotiate with your unconscious mind. Again, it's like that 7-year-old. So sometimes it's like, no, I don't want to change. I want to do things the way I've always done them, right? So sometimes we have to, talk to the unconscious mind and educate it and remind it of its jobs. And the unconscious mind loves to follow directions. So we just have to give it clear, direct directions, and the unconscious mind usually gets on board. Okay? So in this process, you may experience these emotions. So I'm going to ask you to bring these emotions to the surface. Anger, hurt, sadness, fear, guilt, and shame. Okay. So when I'm asking them to come to the surface, you may or may not actually feel the emotion in your body. You may see things if you're more visual. I had a client who was very visual, and she would see the emotions come up like candle flames. And so all these candle flames would pop up, and I'd say, is all the emotion here? And she'd say, I think so. Yeah, all the candles are lit. And then as we were releasing, I would say, is all of the emotion, is all of the anger gone? She'd say, oh, no, wait, there's a little candle flame left in the corner. And oh, okay, now it's gone, right? So some people see things in their mind's eye. Some people hear things, some people just have a knowing, and some people feel things physically. And so I'm a feeler. And when I go through this process, I typically feel the emotion come up as pressure, or I might feel like a knot in my stomach, or sometimes I get like a little twitch in my knee, or an itch, or tingles, or sometimes I feel a breeze. It happens differently every time. But if you're a feeler, just know whatever you're experiencing in your body, just trust that's the emotion when I'm calling it forth. Okay. And, we are doing this in a group. So everybody releases the emotions at a different speed. So just trust that your higher self knows what to do. So if we move on before you are complete releasing the emotions, just know that your higher self is going to continue that release process, even if we move on. So just trust. Again, your higher self is perfect. It does everything right. So just trust that your higher self has it under control. Remember, this is called higher self therapy. Your higher self is working through you and with you on your behalf. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to give you an overview of what this entire process will look like and what you can expect. Okay. So first I'm going to ask, is it okay with your unconscious mind for you to release anger? That's the one we're going to start with, anger today, and for you to be aware of it consciously. You'll get a yes or a no. I'll teach you how to negotiate with your higher self. Again, just a reminder, or with your unconscious mind. And just a reminder, the job of the unconscious mind is to continue to always work towards that blueprint of perfect health that lives in the higher self. Okay. So if the unconscious mind says no, its job is to maintain the integrity of the body. Integrity meaning wholeness. So if it gives you a no, it's not doing its job. It's holding on to emotions that are creating pain or resistance or dis-ease in your body. When we hold on to anxiety, fear, worry, shame, stress, anger, when we hold on to those emotions, it creates that cocktail of stress hormones in our body, that cortisol, that adrenaline, and it activates our sympathetic nervous system. And our sympathetic nervous system is the one that's responsible for stress, right? So S is stress. And the parasympathetic is, you can think of it as peace. It's the rest and digest nervous system. So we want to be operating, we want to be making decisions, we want to be moving through our days more in a peaceful state, a calm and peaceful state through the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay. So again, if the unconscious mind is holding on to any of those emotions from the past, then it is doing us a disservice. And the job of the unconscious mind is to unite with the higher self and create ultimate health in all areas of our life. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. Okay, great. Okay, so once we get agreement from the unconscious mind, I am going to ask the unconscious mind to get in touch with all the emotions related to anger, for example. And I'm going to ask all of those emotions of anger to come to the surface. Okay. And again, this is where you will either feel the emotion or you'll feel a sensation. You might see things, you might hear things, but you'll have a knowing that those emotions are coming to the surface. And what we're doing here is we're bringing all that baggage, those emotions from the past, to the surface so that they can more easily be released. And you can think of this as on trash day, we walk around the house and we pull the little trash bags out of the office and the bathroom, and all the little trash bags go into the big can that we then take to the curb so that the trash man can take it out. Okay. And so this first part is collecting all that baggage from all the different areas of our life, of the body, and bringing it to the surface. And then we're going to do the release process, which is like the trash man coming to take the big can away. Okay. So when you have all of the emotion brought to the surface, now you're just going to be a witness and an observer. Okay. You're going to just allow the higher self to work. You're going to open yourself to notice when it's releasing. And at this point, I'm going to be doing some remote energy work. And I'm going to be speaking with your guides and with your higher selves to assist with that release. But again, your higher self is the one working on you. And when your higher self and your unconscious mind are in agreement, it just flows seamlessly out through my direction. Okay. So don't worry if you're doing it right or wrong. There's nothing extra that you have to do. So when I say tell your unconscious mind to do this, just listen and hear it. There's nothing extra you have to do. And just trust yourself in this moment that you're doing it right. Okay. So I'm going to be working with your energy and with your guides and with your higher selves to assist with that release work. And I'm going to be able to sense and feel when that is gone, when that heaviness or when those emotions from the past are released. Okay. And so then at that point, I'm going to speak to your unconscious mind and we're going to do a little reprogramming and we're going to help you create what you really want to create. And you're going to fill yourself with the light and love of the divine, of the universe, of source, of whatever that higher being that you believe in. And maybe it's just energy, right? So you're going to fill yourself with that positive energy in the form of white light. And that's going to cleanse you and it's going to fill in any holes that are left by the removal. So the universe abhors a vacuum. And so what that means is when something is taken out, it needs to be replaced by something. And so if we don't replace it with something positive, the negative thing that we don't want can come back in, right? So we are going to be filling ourselves with that love and light of creation, knowing that we are whole and complete. And that's going to fill in the holes that are left by releasing these negative emotions, okay? And that's pretty much the process. It's very easy. So if you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat. And all right, looks like nobody has any questions. So go ahead and get yourself into a comfortable position, either laying down or sitting up. And I'm going to start by guiding you through a grounding meditation. Okay. So just take a moment, get your space set up, get yourself in a comfortable position, laying down or sitting up. And now go ahead and close your eyes and put your feet on the ground if you're in a chair. If you're laying down, that's fine. Go ahead, drop your shoulders, allow your spine to grow tall, your head straight up. And take a deep breath in through your nose, breathing all the way to the bottom of your belly. And hold. Good. Open mouth, exhale. Good. Do that again. Big inhale through the nose, breathing all the way to the bottom of your spine. And hold. Open mouth, release. And when you exhale, drop your shoulders even more. Good. Again, 2 more times. Big inhale through the nose. And hold. Open mouth, release. And 1 more just like that. Good. Beautiful. And now bring your attention to your head and relax the skin and the muscles around your skull. Just letting go. Good. And now relax your forehead, allowing the wrinkles to relax, to smooth out. And now relax your eyes, allowing your eyes to grow heavy. And relax the muscles on the sides of your eyes. And even relax the bundle of nerves behind your eyes. Good. Just notice your eyelids are heavy, and even if you try to open them, they feel so heavy you cannot open them. And now relax your cheekbones and your jaw, allowing your jaw to release and relax. Just let it hang loose and limp. Now relax your neck muscles, relaxing the muscles on the sides of your neck, just letting them go. And relax the muscles in the front and the back of your neck. And relax your shoulders. Notice if you've been holding your shoulders up to your ears, and just let them hang loose. Letting go. And relax the muscles in your upper back and your chest. Relaxing your chest muscles. And now relax the upper arms. Relaxing the elbows. Relax the forearms. Relax the wrists, the hands, and the fingers. Allowing your muscles in your arms to just grow heavy. So heavy it feels like a pile of books are stacked on each arm. And if you try to lift your arm, you find that it's too heavy to lift. Good. And now back to your chest muscles, relaxing your whole torso. Relax your intercostal muscles, those muscles between your ribs. Relax your mid-back. Relax your low back. Relax all the muscles and organs and tissues in your torso. And if you notice anything sticking, just take a deep breath into that area and intend. Remember, those intentions are very powerful. Just intend to let go and relax. And relax your abdomen and your hips. And notice if you're squeezing your sex organs, and just let go. Relax your thighs, your quad muscles, and your hamstrings. Relax your knees. Relax your shins and your calves, letting everything just hang loose and limp. And relax your ankles. Relax your Achilles tendons. Good. Relax the heels of your feet and the arches and the balls of your feet. Relax the tops of your feet. Then relax your toes. Good, and take a deep cleansing breath in. And on the exhale, relax 10 levels deeper. Taking this sacred time for yourself just to slow down, relax and let go. Beautiful. Good. And now I'd like to ask your unconscious mind if it's okay for you to release anger today and for you to be aware of it consciously. And listen or feel into that first answer that you get, a yes or a no. We want the partnership and the cooperation of the unconscious mind. If you got any resistance, remind the unconscious mind that its job is wholeness, integrity, and to continue working towards that blueprint of perfect health that lives in the higher self. Good. Beautiful. And now ask the unconscious mind to get in touch with all emotions related to anger, irritation, annoyance, pet peeves, resentment, judgment, frustration, resistance, blame, hatred, rage, all versions of anger, including the first event, the root cause, which when disconnected will allow all of the anger to release easily and effortlessly. When we release that root cause, it's like pulling the weed and it can't grow back. When we pull it from the root, or knocking over dominoes, when we knock over that first domino, all the rest knock down. So we are releasing the root cause of the anger so we can release all of the anger in your system. So just allowing that all to come to the surface, and ask your unconscious mind to energetically activate or light up all specific events and baggage related to anger. And just take a moment and be a witness and allow all the anger to come to the surface, however you personally experience it. Good. Good. And now ask your unconscious mind to preserve the positive learnings. When we get the lessons and the learnings from these past situations and emotions, there's no reason to hold on to the emotion anymore. The lesson is what we need to move forward positively. So get the lesson from the unconscious mind. And you may or may not have a conscious awareness of that. That's okay. Just know the unconscious mind is getting that for you. Good. And now pay attention to those sensations of anger as they begin to release, and notice when they've totally disappeared. So again, just be a witness and allow that release to happen. You may feel a lightness or an evaporation. You'll just feel it letting go of its hold on you. Beautiful. Beautiful work. And remember, if you're still releasing, that's perfect. The release will continue. Again, just be a witness of your own individual, unique process. And know that if you're not done releasing, that it will continue on its own. Good. So now ask your unconscious mind to go to your higher self to get new strategies, new positive emotions. So you can be who you want to be, do what you want to do, and have what you want to have. Installing those strategies and emotions in such a way that you will operate from them unconsciously and access them whenever you need them. They'll be there for you. Beautiful. And just know there's nothing that you need to do right now. Your higher self and unconscious mind are working together for your highest and best good. So now ask your unconscious mind to go to your higher self. Ask your higher self to bring in the light from source. Bring in that light, that beautiful, positive, healing energy of that white light. Bring it in through the top of your head, allowing it to fill your whole body, to fill up any holes or tender spots that were left by the removal of the negativity held in the anger. Filling yourself up with that light from the divine, making you whole and complete. Allowing it to fill you and cleanse you. Good. And now take a deep breath in. And gently open your eyes. Good. So we will open our eyes between each emotion so that we can clear the slate and clear the screen. Good, and go ahead and close your eyes again. And we'll move on to the next emotion. It is the same process for every emotion. So you did great. It's a good release. So now, let's ask the unconscious mind if it's okay for you to release sadness today and for you to be aware of it consciously. And again, you're looking for a yes or a no, or a feeling of freedom or resistance from the unconscious mind. And again, if you get a no, just know that that's like your inner child holding on because it's scared of change. Just remind your inner child, your unconscious mind, that you are safe, that you are loved, that your higher self wants what's the best for you. So go ahead and allow your unconscious mind to unite with your higher self. And you can see that higher self, that trustworthy parental spirit coming down, lending a helping hand, or maybe even hugging your inner child, the unconscious mind. And allow yourself to surrender into that love of the higher self. And remind the unconscious mind that you want perfect health, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, energetically. And allow this change to occur within you. Good. So once you get agreement from the unconscious mind, ask the unconscious mind to get in touch with all emotions related to sadness, grief, loss, hopelessness, despair, depression, aloneness, loneliness, heartache, longing. All versions of sadness, including the first event, the root cause, which when disconnected, which will allow all of the sadness to release easily and effortlessly. Ask your unconscious mind to energetically activate or light up all specific events and baggage related to sadness. Just be a witness and allow all the sadness to come to the surface. Again, whether you're feeling sensations, the actual emotion, you're seeing things, hearing things, or just getting a knowing that sadness from the past is coming to the surface. It may be uncomfortable, but just know it's just for a moment so we can release it. Good. Beautiful. And now ask your unconscious mind to preserve the positive learnings. And now pay attention to these sensations of sadness as they begin to release, and notice when they have totally disappeared. Good. And you may open your energy and assist with the release. And you may see this as 2 cellar doors opening and birds flying out. Just allowing that energetic release to happen. Okay, good. And notice if you feel a lightness in your being. Good. Nice work. So now ask your unconscious mind to go to your higher self to get new strategies. So you can be who you want to be, do what you want to do, and have what you want to have. Installing those strategies in such a way that you can access them anytime you want or need them, they'll be there. Good. And now ask the higher self to bring in the light from source to heal up any holes or tender spots left by the removal of the negativity held in the sadness. Filling yourself up with that light from the divine, making you whole and complete. Allowing that light to fill your entire body. Good. And now take a deep breath. Gently open your eyes. Nice work. And close your eyes. Ask your unconscious mind if it's okay for you to release fear today and for you to be aware of it consciously. Looking for a yes or a no from the unconscious mind. Good. And again, if you get a no, you know what to do. Remind your unconscious mind of its job to create that perfect health that lives in the higher self. Good. And now ask your unconscious mind to get in touch with all emotions related to fear, bringing it all to the surface, feeling scared, stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, nervous, dread, worry, panic, terror, all versions of fear, including the first event, the root cause, which when disconnected, which will allow all of the fear to release easily and effortlessly. Ask your unconscious mind to energetically activate or light up all specific events and baggage related to fear. Again, just pay attention as all of that fear comes to the surface. Just be with the discomfort for a moment. Just so we can release it, bringing all that fear to the surface. And now ask your unconscious mind to preserve the positive learnings. And now pay attention to those sensations of fear as they begin to release, and notice when they've totally disappeared. Just allow it to move through and out of you. Beautiful. Nice work, everyone. Good. And now ask the unconscious mind to go to the higher self to get new strategies, new positive emotions, so you can be who you want to be, do what you want to do, and have what you want to have. Installing those strategies and emotions in such a way that you can operate from them unconsciously and access them whenever you need them. They'll be there. Good. And now ask your higher self to bring in the light from source, to fill you up, healing up any holes or tender spots left by the removal of the fear, filling you up with that light from the divine, making you whole and complete, bringing in that healing, positive energy. Beautiful. And take a deep breath in. Gently open your eyes. Good. Close your eyes. You're doing great. Ask your unconscious mind if it's okay for you to release hurt today and for you to be aware of it consciously. Looking for a yes or a no. And if you get a no, you know what to do by now. Getting that agreement from the unconscious mind. Good. So now ask the unconscious mind to get in touch with all emotions related to hurt, feeling upset, wounded, betrayed, rejected, victimized, criticized, all versions of hurt, including the first event, the root cause, which when disconnected, which will allow all of the hurt to release easily and effortlessly. Ask your unconscious mind to energetically activate or light up all specific events and baggage related to hurt. Just be a witness, allowing all the hurt to come to the surface. Good. Beautiful. Now ask the unconscious mind to preserve the positive learnings and pay attention to those sensations of hurt as they begin to release, and notice when they have totally disappeared. Good. Notice as that feeling, that sensation evaporates or the visual clears up. Maybe it's like a foggy window that becomes clear. Or maybe you see smoke that is replaced by bright, beautiful colors. Good. Nice work, everyone. And now ask your unconscious mind to go to your higher self to get new strategies, new positive emotions, so you can be who you want to be, do what you want to do, and have what you want to have. Installing those strategies and light emotions, positive emotions, in such a way that you can operate from them unconsciously and access them whenever you need them. They'll be there for you. Now ask the higher self to bring in the light from source to heal up any holes or tender spots left by the removal of the negativity held in the hurt. Filling yourself up with that light from the divine, that warm, glowing, positive energy, that white light, making you whole and complete. Good. And take a deep breath in. Gently open your eyes. Good job. Just a few more. Close your eyes. Ask your unconscious mind if it's okay for you to release guilt today and for you to be aware of it consciously. And getting the unconscious mind in agreement, allowing that higher self to help to create that agreement in the unconscious mind and cooperation. Good. And now ask the unconscious mind to get in touch with all emotions related to guilt, regret, remorse, blaming yourself for mistakes that you've made, thinking that you've done something bad or wrong, or that you're in trouble. All versions of guilt, including the first event, the root cause, which when disconnected, which will allow all of the guilt to release easily and effortlessly. Ask the unconscious mind to energetically activate or light up all specific events and baggage related to guilt, allowing it all to come to the surface so it can be released. Good. And now ask the unconscious mind to preserve the positive learnings. Good. And now pay attention to those sensations of guilt as they begin to release, and notice when they have totally disappeared. Guilt can be a very heavy emotion. Just know that holding on to guilt does not make you valiant or worthy or better. It just weighs you down and creates pain for you. So just allow yourself to fully release the guilt. Beautiful work. Feeling your energy lighter, more clear, freer. Good. Now ask the unconscious mind to go to the higher self to get new strategies, new positive, high vibrational emotions, so you can be who you want to be, do what you want to do, and have what you want to have. Installing those strategies and positive emotions in such a way that you can operate from them unconsciously and access them whenever you need them. They'll be there. Good. Good. And now ask your higher self to bring in the light from source to heal up any holes or tender spots left by the removal of the negativity held in the guilt, filling yourself up with that light from the divine, making you whole and complete. Good. And take a deep breath in. Letting it go, and gently open your eyes. Nice. Close your eyes. Last emotion. Good. So now ask the unconscious mind if it's okay for you to release shame today and for you to be aware of it consciously. Getting that agreement from the unconscious mind. Good. And now ask the unconscious mind to get in touch with all emotions related to shame, humiliation, embarrassment, thinking that you are bad or wrong. All versions of shame, including the first event, the root cause, which when disconnected, which will allow all of the shame to release easily and effortlessly. Ask your unconscious mind to energetically activate or light up all specific events and baggage related to shame. Just pay attention as it all comes to the surface. Good. And now ask your unconscious mind to preserve the positive learnings. Pay attention to those sensations of shame as they begin to release, and notice when they've totally disappeared. Good. Allowing that shame to release. Beautiful. Nice. Now ask your unconscious mind to go to your higher self to get new strategies, new positive, high vibrational emotions so you can do what you want to do, be who you want to be, and have what you want to have. Installing those strategies and positive emotions in such a way that you can operate from them unconsciously and access them whenever you need them. Good. And now ask the higher self to bring in the light from source, to fill you up with that light from the divine, making you whole and complete. Seeing and feeling that light coming in through the top of your head, filling your whole body, cleansing you. Go ahead and take a deep breath in and release. And then gently open your eyes. Good. We have one more to do. It's the biggest one of them all, and it's that biggest limiting belief, that core wound that we talked about earlier. Again, that looks like I'm not good enough, I'm not enough, I'm unlovable, I don't matter, I'm unworthy. All those limiting beliefs. Which one did you discover is running the show for you? So find that one, and we're going to release that. So ask the unconscious mind if it's okay for you to release this big limiting belief and for you to be aware of it consciously. And sometimes the unconscious mind thinks that this belief is your identity. And I can assure you, it is not your identity. Your identity is you are loved, you are worthy, you are enough. You are beautiful and magnificent beyond measure. So allow the higher self to come in to assist. And remind the unconscious mind that its job is to maintain the integrity of the body. Move towards that blueprint of perfect health. Good. Thank you, unconscious mind, for your cooperation and participation. So now ask the unconscious mind to get in touch with all the emotions related to that limiting belief, allowing all those emotions to come to the surface. And also get in touch with the decision to take this belief on as your own. And also get in touch with any other limiting beliefs connected to that big limiting belief. Any other ancillary limiting beliefs, including the root cause, the first event, which when disconnected, which will allow all of the emotions, the decision, and the other limiting beliefs to release easily and effortlessly. Ask your unconscious mind to energetically activate or light up all specific events and baggage related to this limiting belief. Allowing it all to come to the surface. Your soul and your higher self know the truth of who you are. It's safe to release this past programming, these unwanted beliefs. Good. Ask your unconscious mind to preserve the positive learnings. Again, when you get the lessons and the learnings, you can release anything. So pay attention to these sensations connected to this limiting belief as they begin to release, and notice when they have totally disappeared. In this release, allowing the truth of who you are, of your being, of your soul to come forward. Good, beautiful. Feeling that energetic release, that lightness come through, the heaviness to release and let go. Good, and now ask your unconscious mind to go to your higher self to get new strategies, new empowering beliefs. I am enough. I am enough. I am loved. I am lovable. I do matter. I am beautiful and magnificent and powerful. Good. So you can be who you want to be, do what you want to do, and have what you want to have. Installing these strategies and empowering beliefs in such a way that you can access them whenever you need them and operate from them unconsciously. Good, and now ask your higher self to bring in the light from source to heal up any holes or tender spots left by the removal of that limiting belief, filling you up with the light from the divine, making you whole and complete. And notice how much lighter you feel. Good, and now we're going to do just a little exercise to make sure that new empowering belief gets installed deeply. So think of a memory. Think of a memory where in the past you previously operated from that big limiting belief. I'm not enough, I'm unlovable, whatever it is. And when you find that memory, check and make sure the emotions have released. Make sure there's no emotion attached to that memory anymore. It should be neutral. Good. And now I want you to take that memory and reprogram it with the new empowering belief. I am good enough. I am enough. I am lovable. I do matter. I am powerful. Now I want you to run that memory back through with this new empowering belief and see how you feel differently. You think differently. You act differently, and see how the outside world responds to you differently. Running this memory forward and seeing it play out differently with this empowering belief. Good. Let's do that one more time. Think of another memory from the past where you operated from that limiting belief. And when you find that memory, check and make sure the emotions are gone from it. Make sure it's neutral. And now reprogram that memory with the new empowering belief. I am enough. I'm lovable. I'm powerful. I'm beautiful. I can have everything that I want. I'm abundant. And play that memory forward now, operating from this new empowering belief. And notice how you feel differently. You think differently. You act differently. The outside world responds to you differently. Good. Nice. And now go to the future and think of a time in the future when you normally would have operated from that limiting belief. And let's do the same thing. See yourself playing out that scenario with this new empowering belief, programming it into the future so that you will now in the future act in this new empowering way. So find a time in the future and play out that scenario in your head. I am good enough. I am lovable. I matter. I'm powerful. I'm abundant. I am beautiful. I am worthy. See how you speak, think, and behave differently, and how the outside world responds to you differently. See how you attract the things that you want and you create harmonious situations. And really know that you are the creator of your reality, and you are so powerful. And now take it one last deep cleansing breath in. Wiggle your fingers and toes and gently come on back and open your eyes. Beautiful. Nice work, everyone. Thank you for this beautiful opportunity to be with you today. Thank you for your willingness. Thank you for investing in yourself. Blessings.